I'm not the one. And don't be thinking you finna control me. I don't do well with people trying to be the boss of me, okay? And especially if I'm not getting paid, okay?
You could be the boss of me if you are my superior. But if you my family, that's a hell to the no.
I get to my father-in-law's house. She called. She telling him,
Miss Steph will be there later this afternoon.
He was like, well, Steph is already here. Yeah, she got silent on the phone and she was
like, no, Steph was just here a couple hours ago.
He was like, and Steph left you. You're gonna have to find the best way that you can to get there because your ride already left. And no, y'all, I was not turning back to go get her. We proceeded with the plan and got to my husband later on that night. And I was like, he was like, well, where's mom?
Your mama got left in Miami.
And I told him why. And James, at that time, I think he realized that what I was not going to tolerate, and I mean, just like, y'all, I wouldn't like tolerate it from my own mother. I'm not going to let my husband's mother either dictate what kind of wife I'm going to be. And I'll be the first to say, I ain't no punk.
I ain't no punk on no day, okay?
And the same way you want respect is the same way I want respect. And let's not get it twisted. Just because you have the title as the mother, that does not lessen the value of me having the title as his wife. You will respect the fact that I am Mrs. Long. I am his wife. And I'm going to demand respect. Sorry. Ain't no sugarcoating about that. Y'all, she had to chunk out some money. She had to catch a flight. And she actually was not there for my husband's graduation.
She didn't get there until Friday night. Like, she got there in time for us to go do the celebration dinner, but she was not there for the actual ceremony. And I wasn't letting her blame that shit on me.
Nope. She gets to the dinner. And yeah, she had something to say to me, and she was
like, Steph, I can't believe you left me.
Due to her disbelief.
She didn't think like I was right for leaving her. And then when we all met up to go have dinner, she was actually sitting right across the table from me. And she was just saying how, she was really proud of her son. And so, she was like, she don't want nothing to come, no conflict to come between, what he got going on in the military and all of this. And I was like, you know what? I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. And so since you're making comments like that, let me go and do this.
So y'all remember them deposit slips, right? Well, I took them deposit slips. They was folded up in an envelope, the envelope that actually she mailed it to him. And I took those same deposit slips and I just slid across the table to her. And I just told her, we won't be needing those.
Y'all, let me just say, if a look could have killed, my ass would have dropped dead at that damn table. I ain't gonna even lie. Because she was like, no, this little heifer did not.
And I was like, yes, the hell I did. I had to let you know that I know what you tried to do. And we ain't playing no games like that.
Okay, so she rolled back with me, and this is how the conversation went. However, I didn't let her talk to me any kind of way either. I can get my point across to you without being disrespectful and rude. I don't know if she could understand that at the time, but I could. And I just told her I didn't like the way that she did that. And I felt like she was setting us up to fail. And when you're young in a marriage like that, you're you can be influenced very easily. And I just thank God that neither James nor we didn't let that negativity, we never allowed it to creep into our marriage. She told me, she was like, she can respect, me giving it back to her. She just would have preferred, like how we were in the car, I could have gave it back to her like that. No, he needed to see that I was not afraid to stand up to your mother. I respect her, I love her, however, I'm not gonna tolerate her disrespecting me. And my father-in-law, he needed to see that shit too, that okay, this little mama, she ain't about that life, and I sure wasn't.
I demand respect. And with that, I think that it just created like this kind of like a dislike.
And this is the thing, I just always felt like anytime we heard from her, it was about money. And that's the only time we would hear from her. To this day, honestly, it's still like that. We've been married for 21 years and my mother-in-law has only been to my house one time. Once. One time, and we had to get her there. We had to get there. I wanted to make that happen for my husband so bad because he says wherever we've ever went, my mother will jump on a plane in a heartbeat and she will be there. And I wanted him to experience that. Finally, she did show up, and when she came, I think this was like 4 years ago, first thing she said when she walked in our house was that she was jealous. And I told her there was no need to be jealous. Whatever you see that we have, you can have too. And this is materialistic things. You know, these things can be taken away from us at any given time. She just, after seeing us interact with each other and seeing how our children are together and how we interact as a family, by the time she left our house after that weekend, she hugged me and she was crying. And she said, Steph, she said, I love the fact you love my son and you love him the way you do, because it shows. And she was like, you know, I want you to keep doing what it is that you're doing to make him happy, because I want him to be happy. And y'all, leaving and her telling me that, you know, that made me feel all warm and fuzzy, like, his mama finally gets it. You know, after 21 years, she finally gets it. And I'm just gonna say this. It lasted for a good maybe 4 months. Like, you know, she would talk to him, interact with him, and then it just stopped and we became silent again. I don't think that just because you're the parent, I don't think that, why you always feel like the child has to run behind you? You're the parent, you're the elder, and I'm looking to you for guidance and, you know, for you to show me the way. And if you can't do that because you only want to be a part of my life when it's
a gain for you,
that's a problem. Y'all, I say all of this and I tell y'all this story to say this, is that she is my mother-in-law. I love her. I love her dearly for the fact that she gave life. She is part of the reason why James is who he is. I'm thankful. I'm thankful that he has a mother that loved him so much. However, it was like the day that we said I do, it's like it changed. And why?
Why is it that mother-in-laws feel like there is never going to be like the woman or the perfect woman when it comes to their sons finding wives? I mean, I've never understood that.
And y'all, I'm sorry, but I gave up trying to figure it out because the way I look at it, I ain't did nothing to her.
You know, I've did nothing but be a good wife to her son. I'm loyal, faithful, dedicated to my family. I put them before anything or anybody, and I would expect you to love me just enough for that and that alone. You know, I'm doing right by your son. He's not calling you. He's not, you know, complaining.
Talking about, you know, my wife's a thought, or, you know, my wife is, you know, she don't cook, or, you know, she don't clean or anything like that. Like,
sister, catch some slack, okay? That's the relationship, and those are some of the hardships that I've been through with her. And as far as my father-in-law, it's like we have built a relationship, a friendship, literally, over the years. And my father-in-law, I think me and him, we got probably the closest was when my husband got deployed to Afghanistan. When I tell y'all, I talked to him every day. He always was there. Now, I've had to put my father-in-law in check, I know, maybe 1 or 2 times. But the time that I can remember the most was when my husband was deployed. I was really like catching it. And like when I would have my moments or my days where, you know, I just was feeling like I was like seriously like missing him. I think I had a conversation with my father-in-law one night, and, you know, I was telling him how much I missed James and the fact that I didn't know what was going on. You know, I hadn't heard from him. And if any of you guys are familiar with the military, you already know when these soldiers are like deployed and they're out, honey, it's like an act of God for you to be able to, you know, get in touch with them. Mr. Long, Senior, okay? We was on the phone one night and we were having a discussion about my feelings, and I told him, I said, you know, you just don't know. And he was like, well, how do you think I feel? I'm his father. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't be here. My love for him is greater than yours. I had to check him. No, boo-boo, no. You know, when we got married, it said, thou shalt not cleave to thy mother and thy father. And that included you. It didn't say excluding Mr. James Long Sr. now. It did say we will not cleave to mother or father. And I had to tell him, don't try to discount my feelings because you're the parent. You know, I'm feeling some kind of way, and I'm sorry, but the day we said I do, we became one. And I'm gonna need you to respect it just like that.
Child, he got quiet. And James Long Sr., he don't get quiet.
He realized that, like, he really, like, set me off in the wrong way. And, you know, later on, after he thought about it, he apologized. Like I said, I talked to him every day. And, you know, he was like, you know, he was wrong to, you know, discount my feelings. Like, okay, you're just a wife. I'm his father. He apologized. And I've always been able to, like, come to him and talk to him about anything. And he, to me as well. He's a great father-in-law. I wouldn't trade him for the world. I look at him as he's the father that I never had.
And I love him for that. I love that he accepted me and he took me in, and like, you know, like I said, we've had our growing pains.
But I have so much respect for him because I see how he is with his children. See how he is. I know his dedication to his family. And he never discounted the fact that I was not his family. I am the mother of his oldest grandchildren. And he's always shown me that much respect. And I love him. I do. As far as my sister-in-laws, I have great relationships with them. My youngest sister-in-law, she was on that bandwagon with my mother-in-law when she was hating on James and Steph. She was on that bandwagon along with his younger brother by his mother. And one day, 4 years ago, she happened to be in Jacksonville at my father-in-law's house. Same time we were. You know, she got to actually spend time around us, like real time. And we got to interact with our nieces and nephews and stuff like that. Sister-in-law at Chuck E. Cheese, and she just, you know, she just apologized. And she was just like, Steph, I just want to say I apologize to you. She was like, just because of all these years, you know, I've been going off of what my mother was saying and, you know, her perception and her beliefs when it came to you and my brother. And she was like, I just really feel like I just missed out on having or taking advantage of the other big sister that I have in my life. She was just like, you know, I could have gotten tons of advice from you. You know, I could have learned a lot from you as a mother, a wife, you know, and she was like, I miss our friendship. And literally, that's all it ever took was her just apologizing and admitting the truth, knowing that we didn't do nothing to her or to anybody for that matter. You know, it's always perception. Perception and trying to get to know people through other people. And that's where people mess up. So if I had to spend the holidays with my in-laws, I'm gonna tell y'all, honestly, I'd be fine. I would be all right. I don't have any hate in my heart or even dislike in my heart. It's like, to me, if we are all family and we're all family through marriage. However, it's like when me and him became one, I look at y'all as if you were my mama or my sisters, you know, and I hold those things to me very close. So I could be all right with it. The question is, can you? Because I ain't did shit to you. Let me just keep it real. And a lot of times people just be holding on to grudges and holding on to what you think and your belief. If you just ask the person, sometimes you'll be surprised. You just set yourself free. And I'm going to say this just to say, I'm never going to change who I am to accommodate or make anybody else feel comfortable being around me. If you can't handle Stephanie on a 105 level, then I'm sorry, but I am not going to downplay myself. I am not going to silence or like hold back from being who I am. And if you don't like it, then you know what? You the one that got the problem. I don't feel like I have a problem with being around other people. I'm someone who loves to have fun. I love a good laugh. If you start ranking, I'm going to rank right back with you. Stephanie don't back down from shit, okay? I take on the challenge, okay? And just a down-to-earth girl that just likes to live. Live. That's my thing. I like to live. So, like I said, I live every day as if it was my last. I get dressed every day as if it was my last. And I love every day as if it was my last. So, any of y'all spending the holidays with y'all in-laws? You know what? I think the holidays are a perfect time for people to start over and, you know, remember what the holidays are about. Christmas isn't about giving gifts or receiving them. Christmas really is about the birth of Christ. Let's go ahead and acknowledge that first. However, it's about family, it's about love, and it's about spending quality time with one another. So, you know, if you're having issues with your in-laws and you gotta go to their house for this holiday season, I'm gonna say this: you should never change who you are. First of all, if they got the problem, then they might want to check theyself. And I'm gonna say this too: if you don't feel comfortable, don't force it. Don't force it, because you can't make something happen that just ain't gonna happen, or maybe it just ain't meant to happen. And like I said, we don't know why mother-in-laws and father-in-laws act the way they act. It's in their DNA. They might want to have that pulled out, because yeah, that ain't gonna get you nowhere in life. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys enjoyed the story time with Steph. And I just know it's a touchy subject to get into throughout the holiday season, and the fact that you may have family coming in, or you might have to be traveling to go with family. I just felt it was a great topic to talk about.
How to deal with your in-laws during the holidays.
I hope you guys enjoyed the story time with me, and I'll see y'all in the next